Six high school students were messing around with a ghost game. Never in a million years did they think they'd actually summon some creepy entity. But here's the thing, they had no clue what they'd done, not until one of the girls looked up at the ceiling, totally freaked out, and it hit them, they'd really called up a ghost. Now, what happens next? Stick around till the end for the insane plot twist. You won't see it coming. Late at night, a girl named Mary was woken up by a bubble. Hearing a strange sound outside, she quickly opened the door a crack to check what was happening, but she saw her elder sister, who had been missing for years and had become lame, spinning around nonstop at her bedroom door. She was staring in a daze when suddenly, the doll in her bedroom was pulled away by an unknown mysterious force. Following the doll, Mary nervously pushed open her elder sister's bedroom door, but the room was empty. She thought everything she had just seen was an illusion, but when Mary looked under the bed, she was shocked to find the doll there. She squatted down carefully to pick it up. Then her elder sister crawled toward Mary in a dark, twisted manner. By the moonlight coming through the window, Mary saw that wire was wrapped around her sister's neck, and the wire had already cut into the flesh. Mary was still in shock when her sister suddenly grabbed her by the neck and let out a terrifying laugh. Mary was on the verge of suffocation. The next second, she suddenly opened her eyes. Her elder sister was sitting by the bed, asking worriedly what had happened, and where the marks on her neck had come from. Mary looked at the blood on her fingertips in confusion, and said the marks might have been caused by accident while she was sleeping. Later, she got out of bed, and looked through old photos of herself and her sister, from when they were children, still thinking about the dream she had the night before. At this point, she suddenly received a video call invitation. When she answered, she found it was her friends. They were John, Kate, Charlie, and Lily. They discussed taking part in an online video contest together. The prize for first place was 50 million won. To win the championship, the quality of their video had to be eye-catching enough. John, who was still eating an apple, happened to have an idea, and said he had found some amazing footage they could make something similar, and then he played the footage. In the video, several young people were playing a ghost summoning game, calling on ghosts to answer their questions. In the end, they actually got answers, but Kate thought the video was boring after watching it, saying it was too fake, and that the audience would never buy into it. John yelled at her, saying she had no taste. This kind of content had a big gimmick. It was a spirit summoning ritual that could predict the future. Admittedly, this alone wasn't attractive enough, but he had an outrageous idea. It was to shoot a video similar to a micro-documentary, adding a bizarre story based on the ghost summoning game. The content would be about several high school students who played a ghost summoning game, and then all disappeared mysteriously. Then John asked everyone if they wanted to do it. Mary, Kate, and Charlie all said yes. Lily, the only one left, thought for a moment, and said she wished the ghost summoning game was real, so she could ask the ghosts to bring her deceased grandmother back to life. John said that even if the game were real, it could never do something like that. At most, it could only reveal things that would happen in the future. But the problem now was that the game required 6 people, and there were only 5 of them. Just when everyone was at a loss, Mary's younger sister Linda popped her head in and asked if she could join them. So the 6-person team was formed. A few days later, Mary put on her school uniform, and specially put on the precious ankle chain left by her elder sister. Then she hurried to meet her friends. Before heading to the game location, everyone took a group photo as a souvenir. The others left right after taking the photo. Thinking she was having a hallucination, Mary hurried to catch up with her friends. After a full day of long-distance travel, they finally arrived near the game location, but John was troubled by figuring out the exact location. While everyone else was busy looking at the map, Mary's attention was focused on a single bubble. This thing reminded her of the dream she had the night before. Just then, John shouted excitedly that the game venue seemed to be in the building next to them. But this building looked like a dangerous structure. The others looked worried and asked if the building would collapse. John told everyone not to worry. As he spoke, he took the lead and walked in, filming with a camera the whole time. When he saw the patterns of the ghost game on the wall, he knew they had found the right place. Then he led the group through narrow pipes, and successfully arrived at the door of the game room. But when they were about to go in, Lily and Linda insisted on leaving because the inside smelled terrible. John questioned them angrily, asking if they were joking. He said since they had already come, they couldn't give up, didn't they? Want the prize money? The others also agreed with John. Following the principle of majority rules, the 6 of them still got into the game venue. When the lights were turned on, a gloomy and eerie atmosphere hit them in the face. Everyone felt both scared and curious. At this point, John looked at the pool in the center and said excitedly that this must be the special water for the spirit summoning ritual, and it was full of ghosts. It said that, during the period of Japanese colonial rule over this area, all the water in northern Seoul had to be treated by the reservoir here. This caused many water ghosts to gather here. Now the reservoir was gone, leaving only the black water in the pool, which trapped the ghosts and prevented them from escaping. John put his hand into the water and said that there wasn't much black water left now, and all of it was the essence of ghosts. After hearing him, Kate, who wasn't wearing glasses, raised doubts, thinking John was talking nonsense. John was annoyed by her and said that whether it was true or not, what he was doing was to make the video more terrifying, so that it would get more attention, and they could win the prize money. Seeing that the two were about to argue, Charlie quickly stopped them, saying that having voices of doubt in the video would make it seem more real. After that, everyone finally got down to filming. To make the video more engaging, John had even specially prepared several barrels of cow's blood. He then mixed the blood from his palm into the cow's blood, explaining that this would attract more powerful ghosts. The others looked at the surprisingly large amount of blood from John, and asked worriedly if it didn't hurt. John spread his hand proudly. When everyone saw the sponge in his hand, they exclaimed that he really had a lot of tricky ideas. Next, John used blood to draw a 5-pointed star on the ground, saying it was a magic circle for summoning demons. After that, everyone went to forge papers with pre-written answers, but just then, Mary glanced at the ankle chain in her hand, and suggested whether they should play it for real. If the ghosts didn't give answers, they could use the prepared props afterward. Everyone froze for a few seconds, thinking that if the ghosts could really answer questions, their video would definitely go viral. Even if not, there would be no loss. Everyone agreed to do it for real, but who would be the one to be possessed by a ghost? Both Lily and Linda said they could do it. In that case, John told everyone to write down the questions they wanted to ask on paper. Everyone was busy thinking of their questions. Meanwhile, Mary actually dropped blood onto the 5-pointed star magic circle. As soon as it struck 12 o'clock, they could officially start the game. While waiting, Mary put the ankle chain on her younger sister, hoping it would protect her safely. Time passed quickly. Everyone completed a series of actions according to the game rules. Then Linda took off her shoes and walked into the central pool. John told everyone that to end the possession, they needed to say please leave, before Linda took off the bag covering her head. After saying that, the other questioners should leave the magic circle one by one, in the order they received responses. Afterward, John also sat down at one corner of the magic circle. Everyone chanted the spell to open the ghost gate in unison, but after waiting for more than 10 seconds, nothing happened at all. John thought it had failed, and told everyone to act according to the script instead. But at this point, Mary looked up at Linda's head, and was shocked to see the colorful bubbles from her dream. She quickly asked the others if they could see them. Before anyone could answer, something strange suddenly happened around them. At the moment the bubbles burst, Linda suddenly raised one hand and plunged her head into the pool, soaking the paper bag. It seemed that the ghost had really been summoned. Charlie wanted to step forward to check the situation, but John stopped him. He was completely focused on filming with his phone. At this point, Linda rotated her arm mechanically and pointed her finger at Kate. The next second, Kate received an answer to her question. Later, the ghost also answered the other people's questions. When Mary saw that the answer was yes, she couldn't help but curl her lips into a smile. But before she could be happy for 2 seconds, Linda knelt down in the pool again and turned her body, as if searching for something. She suddenly stopped when she turned to face Mary. Then she crawled forward in a strange posture. Just as her whole body was about to climb out of the pool, Linda's foot with the ankle chain was pulled back, perhaps out of extreme anger. She spat out a large mouthful of black blood. John excitedly leaned forward to film, but all of a sudden, everything went pitch black. By the faint light of his phone, John saw Linda spinning around nonstop in the pool. When the lights flickered on again, Mary looked at her sister with a face full of terror, because the way her sister walked was exactly the same as her lame elder sister who spun around in her dream. She felt as if all the blood in her body had frozen instantly, and she couldn't move a muscle. The others hurried forward to stop Linda from spinning. After carrying Linda out of the pool, Lily burst into tears in a panic. She asked what they would do if Linda was really possessed by a ghost, and whether they should call the police immediately. John told everyone to calm down. He leaned forward to continue filming with great interest. When he noticed strange scars on Linda's feet, he even planned to use the footage as the cover to upload the video. But before he could do anything, Lily said they were doomed. There was no signal on their phones at all. John told her not to joke around, saying the signal had been fine just now. He refused to believe it and checked his phone. To his surprise, there really was no signal at all. Now John also started to feel scared. He hurried to open the door, wanting to escape this terrifying place, but after hitting it for a long time, he still couldn't open the door. Charlie fetched tools to break the door open by force, but failed. At the same time, Kate looked at the note in her hand with worry, and turned to her friends with a helpless, desperate expression. It was obvious that she had learned something from the answer to her question. Suddenly, a strange sound came from above. The ghost pried open Kate's mouth, and then stuffed hair into her stomach. Kate looked at her friends with a pained face, begging for help, but John had no idea what she was going through. He even questioned her, asking why she wasn't coming over quickly. Kate forced a smile and said she was fine. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief, but soon realized something was wrong, because Kate kept repeating "I'm fine" over and over again. Then she rushed toward the door like a mad person, and started slamming into it. Blood trickled down the door and onto the floor. Charlie was horrified and hurried forward to stop her. Kate, now held back, stopped her actions. She slowly picked up a stick from the ground, and kept muttering, "We're all going to die." After saying that, she started attacking everyone indiscriminately. After getting rid of the obstacles, she marched aggressively toward Linda. Mary was terrified, and quickly stood in front of her sister to protect her, but Kate mocked her, saying, "Linda isn't even your real sister." Unexpectedly, John killed Kate. Charlie questioned him furiously about why he did it, and even stepped forward to slap him hard. This slap brought John back to his senses. When he saw the body on the ground, he asked in panic who had done it. At this point, Mary seemed to sense something and turned around in a hurry. Now that someone had died, Charlie wanted to know if John had done it on purpose. John claimed he had no reason to kill Kate at all, but Charlie said he did have a reason. The reason was that a few days ago, Charlie had seen John threaten Kate with his own eyes. John had a lot of dirt on Kate. He knew Kate was dating a girlfriend, and had gotten the top score in the school by stealing exam papers. John had taken evidence of all this, and Kate begged him not to spread it, otherwise, she would never get into Seoul National University. When John saw his scheme work, he demanded that Kate run errands for him from then on, but Kate was tough as nails. She snapped that she'd go down with John, and she'd out him for running that creepshot account. Therefore, in Charlie's view, John had long wanted to kill Kate, and this ghost summoning game was just a plot to do so. John was anxious and kept defending himself, saying he had no memory of committing the murder. After hearing this, Charlie told him to watch the video. After watching the video, John insisted that the person in the video wasn't him. He wasn't lame at all. As he spoke, he even showed everyone that his body was fine. John kept struggling, trying to break free from the restraints. Because of the pillar blocking their view, the others didn't see Kate come back to life. They only saw John being dragged away by an unknown force. John's face was pierced like a hedgehog. Everyone was so scared that they kept stepping back. But just then, all the lights went out suddenly. When Charlie and the others took out flashlights to illuminate the area, John was already gone. Everyone searched along the bloodstains on the ground, but there was no sign of John anywhere. Where on earth could he have gone? Suddenly, the sound of dripping water came from the ceiling, and a sticky liquid even dripped onto Lily's face. She looked up immediately and was shocked to find John up there. Charlie tied John up with a chain. The situation was now completely out of control. Mary said it was all her fault, for insisting on doing the ritual for real. As she spoke, she saw the bubbles again. Every time these bubbles appeared, something bad was sure to happen. Sure enough, Linda suddenly spat out a large mouthful of blood, and the wound on her foot also split open. Mary thought something had gone wrong in a certain part of the game, so she immediately checked the video footage on her phone. When they were chanting the spell to open the ghost gate, countless arms had suddenly appeared on the pillar, and then the subsequent events unfolded. Mary explained that they had rushed forward to hold Linda, instead of leaving the magic circle according to the rules. Moreover, they had taken off the paper bag from Linda's head before she could send the ghost away. This had caused the ghost to frantically choose targets to possess and kill. To completely end all this, perhaps they should play the game again, and send the ghost away in accordance with the proper procedure. The group immediately placed Kate's body in the corresponding position, put the paper bag back on Linda's head, and chanted the spell to open the ghost gate, and summon the ghost. Just like before, Linda first answered Kate's question. Mary was the last one, and next they should say please leave, but Linda took off the hood and asked Mary if she really wanted to drive her away. Mary recognized that the person in front of her was her long-missed elder sister, and her resolve began to waver. Lily and Charlie shouted at her to snap out of it. Mary finally came to her senses, and then the three of them repeated please leave over and over again. After that, they exited the magic circle in the order their questions had been answered. After completing all the procedures, the game seemed to have really ended. Charlie quickly picked up John's phone to call the police, but strangely enough, it seemed that the policeman had said his name. Before hanging up the phone, Charlie froze. While waiting, he realized that they might not be able to get out, so he mustered up the courage to confess his feelings to Mary, and then the two got together. But while some were happy, others were sorrowful. Lily, who had been pretending to be asleep, was quietly shedding tears. Suddenly, a strange wind blew out the burning candles. Charlie quickly turned on the lighting device, only to find that John was dead. They immediately checked the video footage, and were shocked to see that Linda had untied John's restraints. Then John slowly walked over to the phone, and took his own life with a knife. This meant the game wasn't over yet. Lily broke down, rushed toward the door, and screamed that she wanted to leave. But the next second, her body suddenly lost control, and fell into the pool in a strange posture. Charlie and Mary were terrified and hurried forward to save her. After being pulled out, Lily trembled and said something had been pulling her body. She also asked when the police would arrive. Charlie prepared to use John's phone to call the police again, but said with concern, the prophecy actually came true. John's question had been, will the video get over 1 million views? And unexpectedly, the video had indeed gone viral. As for Kate's question, will she never be able to get rid of John? The answer was obviously yes, so Charlie believed that whoever's prophecy comes true will die. The terrible thing was, Charlie's question had been, does Mary like me? Now that they had finally become a couple, it meant he might die too. But Charlie firmly said he had no regrets. Just then, Lily took out her question. She had asked the ghost, who does Charlie like? The charactering had appeared on the note. But at this life or death moment, Lily no longer cared about her unrequited love. She just wanted to survive. So she pulled out a knife and pointed it at Mary, telling Charlie, as long as Mary dies, both of us can live. She was about to attack, but Charlie held her back. Mary took the opportunity to tie Lily's hands with a chain, but Lily kept resisting. For doors suddenly opened for no reason. Charlie and Mary carefully went in to check, but everything inside each door was the same, and the word death was written at the end of each. Charlie told Mary to wait outside, then got into another door to check the situation again. He found that behind each red talisman, there was a sentence written, 5 wisdoms form a body. The ghost claims 5 lives to gain a human body. He was still trying to figure out what this meant, when he suddenly heard Mary scream outside. Charlie hurried out to save her, only to see Lily lying dead. He was confused about what had happened. When Mary suddenly attacked him from behind, Charlie, who had been stabbed in the back, looked completely disbelief. But after thinking carefully, he finally figured out everything. It turned out that John hadn't been the one who gathered everyone to play the game. It had been Mary all along, because she wanted to resurrect her dead elder sister. When Mary was very young, her parents were only busy with work all day long, and only her elder sister accompanied her. Her elder sister was born with a problem in one foot, but she always protected her beloved younger sister. One day, Mary, being playful, placed something on the bathroom cabinet. Her elder sister tried hard to reach it, and originally nothing bad would have happened, but Mary, overcome by mischief again, shouted and asked her sister to save her. In a hurry, her sister fell into the bathtub. In the evening, her parents came home with gifts, and asked where her elder sister was. Mary replied, in the bathroom. Her parents were stunned the moment they saw the body. After that, the two quarreled endlessly and finally ended up getting divorced. But it wasn't long before her father remarried, and her new stepmother brought along her stepsister Linda. Mary hated this broken and reorganized family, and she couldn't accept the reality of her elder sister's death. Her obsession was to bring back her elder sister, the only person who loved her. Just as the holiday was approaching, she found a way to resurrect someone online. It required taking the deceased's clothes, finding 5 people to complete the divination, and then issuing the order please leave. This method required sacrificing 5 lives. Thinking that her friends and Linda had been persuading her to forget her elder sister, Mary decided to use them to get her sister back, so she lied to everyone. Now she only needed to kill Charlie, and her elder sister would return to her by possessing Linda's body. So Mary wrapped a chain around Charlie's neck. Charlie tried his best to take off the ankle chain Linda was wearing, which made Mary angrily increase her strength. But to her surprise, Charlie still managed to yank off the ankle chain before he died. and Linda came to her senses. Mary quickly coaxed Linda to lie down, then rushed forward and put the ankle chain back on her. Linda suddenly couldn't move as if sealed. She asked in fear, "Sister, what's happening?" But Mary told her not to call her sister. As she spoke, she arranged the bodies and opened the ghost gate once again. As the spell was chanted, the water in the pool boiled violently. The next second, a strong wind blew, and the whole room was bathed in scarlet. Finally, Linda stood in front of Mary. Mary quickly took off the paper bag on Linda's head, and called out, "Sister," but her elder sister, who had the mind of a child, asked who she was and said she should be in the bathroom. Mary told her her name, and said she would protect her forever, then tried to take her home. Mary looked back in surprise, and saw that the bodies of Charlie and the others were holding her elder sister back. She quickly squatted down to untie the ankle chain, but her elder sister asked her, "Why did you kill everyone?" Mary was so scared that she speeded up, but, for some reason, she couldn't take the ankle chain off. Mary realized the person in front of her was no longer her elder sister, but the ghost that had taken over Linda's body. The ghost thanked Mary for helping her escape from hell, then rushed forward and brutally killed Mary. Afterward, the ghost turned off the phone that was recording, and the film ended here. The second half of the film was handled in a surprising way. It was originally thought that the most terrifying thing wasn't ghosts but human nature, but no one expected there to be a twist later, and in the end, the ghost won. But this doesn't mean human nature isn't terrifying. Except for Charlie, everyone else had ulterior motives. When Lily learned she was also going to die, she even picked up a knife and tried to kill Mary, to save her own life. This makes the audience reflect on human nature, while feeling the horror. The film is the debut work of a new director, with all new actors and a rather cliched theme, but the overall presentation was surprisingly good. This also explains why, despite its low cost, the film managed to gross 410 million won at the box office within a few days of its release. If you like my channel, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe.